Everybody pick yourselves up. It's okay. Listen, these things happen. Best Barcelona team ever. Lost games. Messi had bad days. Everybody's had a shitter. It does not matter. Okay? It don't matter. Absolute pleasure to be here, guys. Welcome. Welcome to the Barnsley stream. I said I was going to do these weekly and ended up not doing them weekly. I ended up taking a little bit of a hiatus for some period of time, but we're back. We're back. First things first, we need to go over the Port Vale things. I know a lot of people watch these as videos rather than the lives afterwards, but for the people that do join throughout it, welcome. Nice to see you all. But we do need to address the Port Vale thing, because I've not spoken about it properly. In the EFL review that I did, I was speaking mainly about Port Vale doing well, which they did. But going into this Notts County game tonight, the stupid Papa John's thing that means absolutely no. It's a chance again for someone like Cleary, for example, to really stamp his authority and I don't know what he has to do really to be able to start in league. I don't know if he has to score 5 goals or what. I don't know what. I feel like he needs to turn water to wine, to be honest, to get a start of a McGoldrick through Ryan, which is again something that we'll come and look at in a minute. But the Port Vale game, if we just talk about this quickly, we're complete control start to finish. Like stats show that we had 68% possession. We had equal amount of shots. But I would not have thought, looking at that game and being there and seeing it live, I would not have thought we had 13 shots. I couldn't even imagine 13 times we worked ball into the box anyway. Near minded a shot. We refused to pull it from edge of box. And so we've got players like a Phillips or a Dunn, or even Connell can hit him, or Vickers, or McGoldrick, any of the 5 that could score for us. None of them, I feel like they've got chains on, and none of them were really having a go from edge when opportunity presented itself. We were trying to walk it into net, which is its own problem. But tonight, for example, against Notts County at their place, and we're a weakened team from us, you'd expect, I think we'll win tonight just because they're not going to sit back against us. They're going to come and have a go. And that suits us in games that we've got points in so far, or the games that we've actually won so far. A lot of them have been against sides that are going to come and have a go at us. Well, even if we go right to first one, Plymouth who went away and scored 3 goals at Plymouth, who started playing really good now, and we probably caught them at a good time. But we're miles better side against Plymouth, and we had 10 men for a lot of it. Burton come and had a go. Burton didn't sit back, and they ended up with 2 goals. They were 2-0 in front, and we ended up winning. Bolton we were winning against until we got a man sent off. Peterborough had a fair decent chances against us, in fairness. Peterborough had a couple chances, and we ended up beating them. Wimbledon were the first case of a side that truly just sat back against us and said, listen, you do what you think is right here. You try and break us open. They invited pressure onto them, Wimbledon. And I think we did create odd chance, to be fair. I think we're unlucky to come away with 2-0, but I didn't think we deserved to win that game. And that was first sign of a side that just completely sat off against us and asked us to solve that problem, and we just didn't. And then going back to it, obviously we beat Huddersfield fairly comfortably. They are a side that expect to have control, so it gives us opportunities to sort of get them on counter-attack and stuff like that. The opportunity never once arose for us to have a counter-attack against Port Vale because they stuck 10 men behind ball and 68% possession shows exactly that. I think to say that they had 8 shots on target and we had none just completely speaks volumes of it as well. We had more than double the passes. We had the better of every stat effectively, apart from ones that actually mattered. Shots on target, goals, and we deserve to lose definitely against Port Vale. I really hope going into next couple of games before international break, or in fact there's only one in there. There's only Wickham away on Saturday against Duff. I really hope that we are not going to be, or I hope Duff, having only just come into job and focusing mainly on the Wickham side of things and what he's got to work with, instead of how can we just sort of stop Barnes from playing. I hope he's focusing on the Wickham side of things rather than ours. Because if they do just sit back and soak up pressure against us, I think it'll end up being the same sort of story again. Unless something changes. Unless something changes. Because we're 8th at minute. Let me look. I'm sure we're 8th. We are. I know we've got a game in hand on a lot of teams above us. And that's honestly not bad at all. Because to be fair, his game in hand's away at Stephen. So he can't even say if we win because it's a very tough game. But to be 8th after a start where nobody actually expected much of us because we didn't spend a dime in summer. I know we've obviously, well, to be fair, we can speak about that as well. We've not got any striker depth at all. We've got McGoldrick and Dunn, and that's it. Because we've sent 7 of them out and we've not brought any in. So that's why his director of football is now sat at home with his feet up without a job. because he were way out of his depth. I just think the lack of depth in certain areas might make us end up having to limp to January. As long as we're in a good position to do so, I will be happy. I will be happy. Now we're going to come and speak about obviously the predicted lineup for tonight, because that's a big thing. I'm excited to watch tonight. I actually really am. But first, Luke, thank you. Member for 7 months. Very kind of you, sir. Don't worry, Cal Barnsley's still going up. That's what I expect from a man with a golden John. Absolute legend. Kiss. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate you as always, my friend. Same as you, Josie. Thank you for the 2. I hate the fact you've made me care about Barnsley. I wonder if I've done that with a few people. Because I reckon like this might get 3,000-4,000 views or something on YouTube. I reckon a good half of that is not Barnsley fans. There'll be so many non-Barnsley fans that watch this shit now. There's everybody's second team in it now because of this shit. But thank you. I appreciate the 2, my dear boy. Thank you very much. And Zach, here he is. Do you want DKD by any chance? Thank you for the 2 as always, my friend. Red staying down, laughing emoji. You're going down. Urian awful gaffer kiss. You're shit at rage baiting you, because I can tell. Honestly, I don't even read your message sometimes. I just see your name pop up and I just know it's crap. But thank you for giving me your money. Regardless. Right. So the Port Vale thing. Just to get back to it. Thank you, everybody. Kiss. Love you all. Just to get back to it. The Port Vale thing. There's a clear problem in trying to break down low blocks. I do think that is a problem just across football in general. It's been a problem at top of football for a long time anyway. Look at Arsenal, for God's sake. I know they've got like ridiculous players at that standard, but trying to break down a team that's got 8 centre-backs on pitch is a tough ask, especially lower down pyramid when people or clubs haven't got that quality to be able to break them open as frequently, which is why I think you do just need to shoot on sight, on edge, and I don't know why we weren't doing that at weekend. I only remember Phillips having 1, but that were it. And when we have got some of the best players in division from an attacking perspective, and when you've got players that are that good, if you're going to edge at box, just hit the thing. I just don't understand why we weren't doing that. But I don't think Urian's too set in his ways. I would assume he can adapt with it being his first job, and you're not going to be too set on your style of play and stuff like that. Yeah, are you? You wouldn't think. So I hope tonight is one where we proper go for it. Like, it's going to be obviously a massively switched around team. But I expect him to adapt and change certain things for Wickham game. I really do. Obviously tonight is dependent on it with the team that he puts out and if they do well, but I really expect certain players to be dropped me for weekend. I really do. If we go into it with the exact same 11, 3 games in a it'd be 3 league games in a row with exact 11, having lost the last 2, it's a little bit of one of them ones, isn't it? It's a bit, I don't know. Dr. Mew, thank you for the 5, my brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. Whilst me and the old man have had a chuckle about our losses, I do hope your season turns out for the better. Thank you, Dr. Mew. That's very kind of you. A lot of people just like to see us lose so they can laugh at me. But I appreciate that, Dr. Mew. Very kind of you. Thank you for the 5. You are the man. Kiss. Or the woo man. I don't actually know. Or you might just be that thing. The Pokemon character. Cat thing. Meow skulls. Thank you. Kiss. Cheers, Dr. Mew. Right. Get that shit off my screen. I've had enough for that now. Get it off. Oh. Where is it? There is a conversation to be had. Okay. There is a conversation to be had, and it's not one that people want to have. Thank you, Joseph, again for the 2. Very kind of you. Striker depth, you say. Get Clement Rodriguez on the phone. Thankfully, we will never have somebody that shit ever walk through these doors ever again. That were a certified Mladen Sormaz job. Thank God it's over. No more Clem Rodriguez. If anybody ever comes from French 2nd Division to this club ever again, I'm not going. I appreciate the 2 though. Thank you, Joseph. Again. Right. This needs to be addressed. I don't think he'll start Magoji tonight. I've seen you there, FC Footy or TC Footy. I've seen you. I don't think Magoji will start. I don't think he'll even meet in squad for something like this. Maybe unless he really wants to, unless he said to Urian, listen, this is my old club, I really want to play, then fair enough. But he's not even been in matchday squad for any cup games so far, and we've had 3. He's not been in any of them. I don't think it'll be different here. We are massively short on striker depth anyway, which is we'll probably have either that Pharrell, the kid, or Dunn will start. But I don't think Magoji will be in squad tonight. Right. I, personally, think he needs to be dropped for Saturday. He needs to be dropped. He is a man, Magoji. I absolutely love the fella. I think his general build-up play is actually really good. He just can make something happen like that. But him and Dunn are too similar, and especially in games where teams are just going to defend against us, which Wickham are, I really do think that we need a different option to McGoldrick, Dunn, Phillips, Vickers, who are all four very similar players. They're all ball to feet. There is no running in behind it at all from any of them four players. And I think McGoldrick is the one, really, that I would prefer out of all them to have against tired legs. That is the way. You know, like Arteta's got this unlocked from a psychological standpoint. We ain't got. You're not a sub. You're a finisher. We've got a starters. You know, we've got a starters, and then we've got as finishers, baby. And I think McGoldrick could be better suited to one of them. Obviously, the problem does stem from not having a lot of depth anyway, which is why we've got to start a 37-year-old every single week and keep him on for full 90 at a time. But he's had 695 minutes even, right? 695 minutes. This is just in league. Or is it? Yeah, I think it is. 695 minutes just in league. Reyes Cleary has had 70 minutes in division. 70 minutes. He's playing in cups and he's probably going to start tonight. But 70 minutes. I feel like the times that he has come on or the times that he's played in cups, he's been by far best player in cup games. By far. In the first two against Fleetwood and Rotherham, he was best player on pitch in both games. And you could say the same for probably Kelly as well, who could be knocking on the door for a start. It's just because he's been injured in it. But someone like Cleary, why it took till 70th minute to bring him on, is the only player that will get the ball and actually run at someone. Same thing again. Dunn, Vickers, McGoldrick, and Phillips are all... They're all passing footballers. They are not run-at-you footballers. They don't want to take you on. They want to keep ball and ping it and play that sort of game. Cleary's the exact opposite, and he's the only one that can sort of do that job. Seeing as though Jallo's injured at the minute, he's the only one that could do that job. Zach, thank you for the 2 again, brother. One Julie Fowler cameo, and I'll never speak again. Get your screen. Yeah, let's just carry on. No. Finishes instead of starters. I know, honestly. You look so much better with Cleary on. We do. But I thought, especially when Cleary come on for the last like 20 minutes, we started looking slightly better. But damage already done. And then Port Vale just went in hitters on counter. A good finish, to be fair, that second one. But I think Dunn and McGoldrick are too similar. Way too similar. And obviously, from a long-term standpoint, McGoldrick can make things happen out of nothing. But Dunn is the better footballer right now. He is, than what McGoldrick is. Dunn is... We're turning multi-million-pound bids for him a couple of weeks ago. Dunn's, I think he's top goal scorer in league, or he's on 5 in 9 league games. He's going to get us multi-millions of pounds if he does leave. He cannot be dropped. There is not a world where Davis Keeler-Dunn does not start for this football club in league. There is not a world. And he took him off in 60th, I think. I think he took him off for 65th, somewhere around there, and kept McGoldrick on. I don't know. I feel like I just feel like we're trying to shoehorn these lads in a little bit when there is a natural left winger actually in there in Cleary. I think we're trying to shoehorn them in a little bit, personally. And McGoldrick, imagine McGoldrick coming on against tired legs. That was surely the plan to start with anyway. We can't start him every week. If we're starting him against certain sides, yeah, that's fine. But Cleary is there and to be used. I feel like when Jallo comes back, Jallo's going to nail one at wings down anyway. It'll probably come off left wing because Vickers is a right winger. And it'll be that sort of thing then. But I just think we're rinsing McGoldrick to bits. He's such a good footballer. He genuinely can just make something from nothing. We've seen it with some balls and his control and that is outstanding. But, mate, we've got to manage this squad a little bit better. 695 minutes for 37-year-old David McGoldrick and 70 minutes for Cleary is nuts. It's nuts, the management in division so far. He's got to be starting soon, Cleary, I think. And depending on what he does tonight, because I'm assuming he is going to start, but depending on what he does tonight, I think it's a real chance that he could be in for Saturday, really. Let me get that comment up, because that's actually quite a good point. Hold on. Maybe to come through. Don't it better get worse if you're playing out-and-out left winger? I understand what you're saying there. I really do. And I don't know if I actually have a counterpoint to it. I don't know. Because we just can't break him down, though. Ogbeta is another one. He's not someone that runs at you that much. He can open it up to put a cross in. But he's not someone that's going to run at you and actually take a man on, per se, like I think Cleary is. I think Cleary, from the lads that are currently fit, is the only one that I would imagine running at somebody. Ferrugia, unless that's just the style that Urian wants. He don't want you to run at somebody, really. Unless it is just a case of play McGoldrick and Dunn and all these boys, pardon me, for 70 minutes. and then get someone like Cleary on against tired legs. Maybe that's how it works. But I don't know. I need... Urian has always said, and I stand by that he is right with this, he understands fans and he understands what Barnsley needs, I think, to get fans up for it, especially while we're in this league. If we were playing defensive crap football in Championship, we'd be fine with it because we're in Championship. But we've been playing 3 at back for like 3 years now in League One, and it's been absolutely dross. We need to get players on ball that will run at a man in this league because it's a shit league. The standard is so poor. And when you have got some of the best players in the division from an attacking point of view, you expect to just get it to them and try and run at a man and do what you think's right all the time. I don't think complete ball retention 24/7 is working for us, personally, in certain games. Obviously, when we're coming up against, like Bradford in a couple of weeks, for example, away, or we'd have had Cardiff next week, but it's been postponed for internationals. When we're playing against them, I would say just play it same 11 because it's going to be a completely different style. We're going to be playing a different team that's going to come and set up against us in a different way. Cardiff and Bradford are not going to have the same structure that Port Vale have against us or Wimbledon has against us. You're looking at 2 completely different ends of spectrum here. And against sides like a Wimbledon or a Port Vale, I think you've got to have Cleary in from off, or even a Wickham at weekend if they're going to sit back and defend against us. I think you've got to have Wickham in, not Wickham. I think you've got to have Cleary in immediately to try and get early goals, to try and have a lot of shots early doers. Because if they're just going to sit with a low block against us, we've proved it last 2 league games that we're struggling against that. But at the same time, I do think if we're playing a Cardiff or when we're going away to Bradford in a couple of weeks, I would then go with same 11 that we've got. I'm excited to see Kelly tonight. I'm assuming he'll be fine now. He's not been on bench for a couple of weeks, though. He's been injured after international duty. But I'm assuming he's all right now. But this is the team I expect tonight, personally. This is what I expect tonight. Let me just get that comment up because it is a good one. Jake, thank you for the £2, my brother, man. Wednesday, getting a point deduction. It looks like, oh, I don't want him to have it this season. No. This is a Barnsley stream so I can talk about Wednesday. I'm good there. I don't want him to have a point deduction this year. I want it to be next year. Because they're going down regardless, aren't they? They're going to go down with a whimper. But I wish they'd have had it postponed. I think it's because he's not paid on time in it today. I don't think he's paid wages on time, so he's in trouble for that. Oh, I'm gutted there, if that's right. I'd really, really like EFL to grow some balls and say, no, you're going to get it next season for taking piss. I wish they'd do that, but thank you, Jake. I appreciate it very much. Jonathan, do you think you'll have the ability to keep the ball against Cardiff? At our place, yeah, I do. And it's obviously not going to be the same stats as we had against Port Vale. We're not going to have 68% possession. But against Huddersfield, we might have had like late 50s. We definitely had ball a lot more against Huddersfield than they did. I think we were the same against Bolton. Bit closer, obviously, in first half. But against because you're going to come, Cardiff are going to come and have a go at us. So I think that suits us to ground me. When teams don't take us seriously and come and think, oh, we'll go and beat them, that opens it up for us to then go and get 3 points. When teams come and just sit and defend against us, it's difficult for us to break down, I think. But yeah, I do think we could control the ball a bit against Shaw. But this is what I expect to see tonight. Obviously, it comes out in 20 minutes, something like that, whatever it is, because we play at 7 o'clock, so it'll come out at 6:15. But I'm expecting this. Flav's got to be in net, because why keep him here and not send him out on loan if you're not going to start him in cups? Because he won't even start him in Mickey Mouse Cup. So this is a chance, really, for him. I think Dijavinia, Rooney, Barrett is absolutely nailed on. I hope he doesn't start off better, because I think probably crying for a bit of a rest. And it's only this shit competition. I'd like to see that Woodcock come in. I think he's from town anyway, so I'd like to see him have a go. Midfield 3 picks, it's going to be Jorgen, Nathan, Kelly and Russell, you'd imagine. If Kelly's fit, that is. If not, I could see Bland being in there. And then I'd imagine Ferrugia and Cleary on wings and Dunn up front. Now, I'd like to see that Farrell. I think he's from town and all. A young kid that we've got coming through Academy. I think he come off bench in both cup games and all. But you know, Way is not scoring in 3 games. I think he might start doing it anyway. To be like, well, not counting no mugs anyway. I know they're only League 2, but they're no mugs. And they've got someone like Jatta up front. If they put a strong side out, they could match us, really. But I think he'll start Dunn to just be a case of, right, well, we'll try and go and get some goals here. We don't want to lose again. Because if we go 4 losses in a row in all comps, that really is not a good look. And especially in this stupid-ass comp, I think he will want to win this game and get some confidence going into Wickham at weekend. So I think he'll start Dunn and then bring that Pharrell fella on. But that is what I imagine for tonight. I don't know. I'm excited for this season across the whole, but it were a little bit of old habits creeping in, I think, against Port Vale, which I really don't want to be a consistent thing. And I don't think it will. I do think Urian has got some nuts about him. I do think... Well, I trust him. That's the way I put it. I definitely trust Urian. A lot of the lads that we've even brought in this season anyway are because of Urian. And I think that's probably partly why Mladden's been sacked anyway. If it is a case of giving him reins, I'm all for it. Because his decision-making so far, I think, has been really good. The complete switch in formation... Maybe it's a bit too soon to think, oh, we can just immediately bring some lads in and then just fly to top at least, just sort at top. But I think if we're in and around it in Jan, like I think we'll definitely be top 6 in Jan. But if we're in and around anything serious, I do think they will spend a little bit of money on what Urian wants. Me. Which is obviously a strike. We still need a striker. We're screaming for one. But when Jello comes back, I think that's his winger sorted. We could maybe do with another centre-back, maybe, at a push. And maybe international break's a good chance to shit one of them off and all. So I don't know with Shepherd and Earl as a partnership. We just concede so many goals all the time. I think Shepherd went man at match by a mile, by the way. Like an absolute mile. Cooper were good, but best outfielder on pitch was easily Shepherd. For first half, he was an absolute monster. Nobody got near him. I just think we need an old experienced head next to him that can pass a ball and can actually trap a ball. Do you know what I mean? Oh God. I just don't know anymore. I don't know. Let me get into some of these comments, baby. Let me get into some of these comments. Not so play a terrible team and you should win, but looking forward to going with a few mates. Yeah, I would debating going, but not for 7 o'clock because none of my mates will even be... Well, my mates are like finishing now, so I couldn't have got there in time anyway. But I've never been to Notts County. And I don't go to these games anyway. If it had been like in Mickey Mouse or FA Cup, I'd have gone. But I'm not doing it for this thing. I'm not going to any game in this Papa John's until it's semis or Wembley. That's the only thing I'd do. Ben, do you think Huddersfield's form will pick up again? Yeah. I think he'll win at weekend. Not to get away yet because I haven't filmed my prediction vid yet to go out. That'll be tomorrow. But I think he'll win against Stockport at weekend, me. Like, Huddersfield are doing really good. There's a few of us, to be fair. There's a few sides in this division. And there's a couple on screen there now. Luton, Bolton, Barnsley, Stockport, Huddersfield. I don't think any of them have played Lightning, to be fair. But they're all in and around it. Plymouth are obviously playing better now and they're picking up. But out of them 5, Huddersfield are iced up and probably playing worse. After all 5. You're just chipping away really nicely. Humphrey's back. I've seen this, actually. I've seen that he's not been in favour as we are. It's not putting him out wide. Told you. We did tell you, baby. Am I going Wickham at weekend? I was planning on doing it, but no, not now. My first away. Let me get fixtures up. My schedule for Barnsley is... From the 18th of October, I'm doing every game up until Christmas, I think. So there's Notts County away tonight. We've got Wickham at weekend away, which I'm not doing. The Cardiff one's being postponed for internationals. And then we've got Bradford away, which I'm going to. Obviously, Rotherham. Just the aways that I'm doing in a row. I've got Bradford, Donny, Stockport, Lincoln on a Tuesday night. And then it's Exeter on 20th. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing Exeter on 20th of December. That's ridiculous. But then going into New Year, Wigan on New Year's Day, that's a bit rotten. I'm going to Port Vale on 4th. I'm going to Cardiff midweek. Fuck me, that's disgusting. I might go to Bolton. I've not been in 12 months. I've been to Bolton in one whole year. But yeah, I'm going to start going to a few now. Just been unlucky with the fixtures that have come out at the times that they have. And then Keeler Dunn will go in Jan. Completely disagree. I'm not being funny. I don't know why people think stuff like this. Everybody seems surprised, right? Because I was looking at people's opinions on stuff when transfer window had shut, and everybody's so surprised that he's still here and he's not gone. Like, what is it? Top goal scorer? He's joint top goal scorer in division on 5, but there's 7 players on 5 goals a minute. Dunn's on 5, and last season in the worst Barnsley team in decades, he got 18 goals as a number 10 that's been stuck up front. But we're not going to sell him unless somebody gives us like £5 million. Because why would we? Do you know what I mean? We don't have to. There is no reason for us to sell any big lads when they've got years left on this contract. I think including this one, Dunn's got 3 years left. We've got no reason to sell him. We've got best striker in division. We've got no reason to sell the fella unless £5 million comes sliding across his table. Phillips and Connell, I think we definitely have to evaluate that situation this summer because they'll only have a year left then. But if we get promoted, you're in a different position, aren't you? I just think why throw this season away in January, especially if we're in and around it in December? Why would we sell anybody when we've got no reason to? We spent nothing in summer anyway, so we're sat on a bit of brass. If anything, we will spend money and get stronger in Jan. If Dunn sat on 15 goals, something ridiculous in January, and someone comes in with £5+ million, then I think it's a conversation to be had. But unless somebody reaches that valuation, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to leave for less than 5. I truly don't think. And especially in January when everybody's got multiplier on. Everybody costs a bit more in Jan, don't they? I do not see that happening. At all. I do not see that happening. It'd just be absolute suicide from our perspective. Speaking of Plymouth, Tellage is the bollocks. Won't be surprised if he's gone from here come next summer. Neither would I. I were quite upset that we didn't go in for him, £1 million. Mate, these days it's an absolute bargain. If you are someone like Plymouth as well, say if you're a Plymouth or a Barnsley, I'm just speaking about this, if you've got one of these players, like Tolledge is on 4 goals and an assist, he's a decent age, you're going to have him on a good contract, £1 million to your or us is nothing. Because if he has one good year like he is doing here, you're looking at £5 million for him. I feel like if he'd have done the exact same thing with Port Vale this season, they'd probably get 2. But just because he's at a side that's expected to do something and it's a slightly bigger name, you look at it and think, well, he's not going unless it's multi-millions. We got done for 800 grand, I think. And if he goes, it's 5. If Tolaj has a really good season, if he hits same numbers as Dunn did last season, let's say that Tolaj gets 18, just for argument's sake, then Plymouth could sit there and say, well, we want £5 million or he's not going. And then you've got the contract length, you've got the promise of, well, we're going to try and fight for promotion so you can stay here or we'll get us money. And there's almost no losing when you're a club that's a bigger one in this league and you've got a decent player on a good contract. Good afternoon, Johnny. What trio of clubs do you think will be the most surprising to get promoted from League One to Championship this season, apart from the relegation favourites? So I can't say Cardiff, Huddersfield, Plymouth. Well, Stevenage for a start. Stevenage, I honestly, the more I think about it, why would Stevenage fall away as a threat? They're sat there on second now, got a game in hand and it's against us. If they win it, they're on 25 points in 10 games. 2.5 points a game is mad. It's absolutely mad. They're really good going forward in all Stevenage this year, which is something that I don't think they've had for a couple of years. While we've been here anyway, while we've been in here together. So that's when I started taking more serious notice of League One, obviously, because we're in this shit show. But I think Stevenage have got a bit more going forward this year than other ones. And they've always been good defensively anyway. Bradford are exact same. Bradford look a really good team. And maybe Stevenage could have problem keeping some of the better players in Jan. But there's no massive standouts there. Pierre Gianni's been there forever, so he's not going to leave. And a lot of the attackers are new boys, apart from Reed. So maybe Reed could leave, but I think that's it, really. But Bradford have got no humongous standout, apart from Poynton. For like someone that could potentially be sold, Poynton's the only one that you look at and think, oh, maybe. But he's a Bradford fan. So you've got that on his side as well. I don't think either of them two are really going to fall miles away from it. I think they could both be in picture next summer, mate. Oh, God. A real fan would go to every single game in League and Cup and under 20. Okay, man. Billy, so it's about time you did one of these. I did one last week as well. I've just brought them back while we've been crap, unfortunately. I don't see Keeler Dunn going anywhere. It's about 27 now, so wouldn't fit the profile for most clubs. Even Wrexham will sign all the players he wouldn't have the past name for. Good point as well. I do feel like if anybody's going to come and buy him now, because of the position that we're in, regardless of what you actually think he's worth, you have got to come and give us £5 million for a 27-year-old. He's going to want a 4-year contract. You are chucking £5 million. You're chucking £5 million out pisser because you're never going to get a sale for him unless he goes to someone like a Middlesbrough as an absolutely blinding year, like he gets 20 goals in Championship, and then a Prem side looks at him. That's the only way you get your money back. So it's got to be a very wealthy club that can think we're going to chuck £5 million at this striker. He's going to be here for 3-4 years, and then we can just let him piss off on a free transfer. You've got to have a lot of brass to think like that. And also the situation that he's in personally. If his wife and his kid are up in Middlesbrough, if they live up there, he's not going to want to go further south, is he? So I think we're quite lucky in that regard, all the circumstances that are surrounding us. I think someone like Sheffield United is the only real threat to this. I don't think Middlesbrough come from, especially if they're top of league in Jan. But I think Sheffield United is the only real scary aspect, and I think he'd suit Wilder. You know, I think Wilder would like somebody like him. Hold on, I'm just scrolling down. But yeah, I don't think he leaves me, personally. What do you think about our prospects against Wickham and Bradford? Oh, God. See, this is going to sound absolutely stupid. I'm more confident going to Bradford than I am against Wickham. I genuinely am. Because going to Bradford, they're going to think, especially at home, where they've got loads and loads of points. I think they've won every home game so far. They're going to think, it's just another one in a long line, baby. It's just dominoes. Tick them all off, win every game. So they're going to come and have a go at us, especially at their own ground. And I think that is going to suit us. Oh, it's just going to suit us perfectly. So I'm more confident going to Bradford than I am to Wickham. Wickham scares me because of the duff aspect. If they still had Dodds, I'd just think it's a piece of piss. But it's a bit of a banana skin for us, Wickham, innit? I know we won. When did we win? We won over a year. Wait, last year? No, it weren't last year because that was Corny. It won year before. I think Waters scored fairly late on, or Tedic. I can't remember. And then we won obviously Championship when we got to playoffs. But when I went to Wickham, we drew. I think we drew. We might have lost even. I think we lost actually when I went. Kiefer Moore blasted ball into the crowd and he got a telling off from Stendley with that year. That's when I went. And then last year we lost. It's a bit of a sticky one. Plus the added situation of Duff being manager. If we go and have the scrappiest, most disgusting, horrible 1-0 win ever, I'd love that. I would absolutely love it. But I'm more confident about Bradford than I am Wickham. I think we'll go and beat Bradford. Seriously. Wickham at weekend, I'm a little bit scared for. Like I truly am. I truly am. Did you mention Match Bingo? I'm doing now, baby. Nice one. Thank you very much to my sponsors, Match Bingo and OK Jersey. Both the links are in the description. Thank you very much to both. And thank you to you. Play the British way. Thank you very much. Dr. Mew, I've seen you, brother. I just can't pick it up because it don't have a message with it, so it don't come through the system. But I appreciate it, my friend. Welcome to the Goers. You've been in here before, I know you have. Love you. Case, and you give me a 5 really. You are the man. Thank you very much, Dr. Mew. Any more comments before I get off? 1-4-2 in 2023. That was Tedic, weren't it, that? I think that was that. Sadly, most recruitment teams think you're on a walk when you reach 25. I don't think that's the case anymore. It's just because of the potential reseller players, isn't it? That's all it is. If you buy a 27-year-old for £5 million, you've got to have a lot of money. Especially when you think, maybe is he going to be one at 27 that you can bring in and proper develop, and can he kick on to that level? Can Dunn go into Championship and score 18 goals? I don't know. I would like to see him try, but with Barnsley, personally. Tollage had a huge ride with us last season. He wasn't our starting forward at the start of the year, and the progress he made game by game was crazy. You believe he could be a £20-30 million player? In time, maybe, honestly. I do think he's very good. I watched the game where he's still at York against Cardiff, and I thought it was top draw. The standard of finishing as well from him is good. It really is good. Evening, Gwet. Don't know if Bradford are very tough to took the game towards and were more clinical than us. The stats were pretty even, but they're nowhere net is and they'll have a strong season. Yeah, I completely agree. I just think if they open up against us and leave any sort of gaps at all, I do think that's when we're best and we will exploit them. Brum versus Wednesday score, I think Birmingham win 2-0, personally. And then Cardiff, Burton predictions and Luton Blackpool. Oh, yeah, we'll sign out on this because season tonight I've not spoken about them. Cardiff at home to Burton, I'm expecting them to hammer them, to be fair. I'd love Burton to go there and win. Just for long term for Barnsley, obviously Cardiff are a threat this season, but I think Cardiff will beat them fairly comfortable, like a 3-0 Cardiff. I really think it'll be so easy for them tonight. And Luton versus Blackpool, slightly dodgy, because I thought that Luton had very easily breezed past Donny, because Donny had lost the last two, but they didn't. And Luton's game with Donny were quite a dodgy one, weren't it? It was quite even. Blackpool at home, I still think Luton would win, probably 2-0, go like 1-0. So I'll have a 3-0 Cardiff and a 1-0 Luton. But boys, it has been an absolute pleasure. I love these, man. I absolutely love these. I'm looking forward to the game and all, you know. I'm looking forward to watching us against Notts County in an hour and a half. I just hope Cleary plays, has a really good game, and then he's in starting 11 on Saturday. But it's been an absolute pleasure. I love you all. Kiss. Thank you for watching. Anybody that's donated, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bingo and OK Jersey, my sponsors. The links are in the description below. It's been an absolute blast. Love you all, and I will see you in a bit. I will see you on Friday, actually, for next live. It's Wrexham versus Birmingham, so I'll be doing a live for that. And then a little added one. I'm doing a Sunday live as well for East Anglia, Ipswich, Norwich. Mate, boys, absolute pleasure. Love you all. See you in a bit. And my prediction for Barnsley tonight, actually, versus Notts County. 3-1 away win. I think we get back to it tonight.